damage. They averaged at one point 50 average damage with utility per round.
The current stat for Astralis on Inferno, out of 47 maps played in the last 12 months on LAN, they have the highest team out of everybody in the world with ADR of 38.8. That's the average over those 47 maps. They also have the highest win percentage, but one thing that's good for ENCE here is to actually have the highest opening kills out of all the same teams over the last 12 months on LAN. You know, they've got the highest 4v5 win percentage. You know, they're up there in trades as well, actually the highest at 25.1%. They're going to need all of those stat lines to come into favor here if they want to beat Astralis on their home pick.
They have to play the best Counter-Strike that we've ever seen ENCE play. The problem for them is that Astralis have something to look at, right? We saw ENCE play Inferno against Liquid, a game that Liquid arguably should have won. They should have closed it out. ENCE had no business in winning that. That said, though, they were able to fight back and win that in OT. So the problem for ENCE coming into this one is is their playbook deep enough to go up against a team like Astralis, who 100% have prepared Inferno coming into this grand final?
I mean, there's plenty to look at. But how much is wrong? How much is you able to exploit? Twister, the coach, coming into this grand final, he said, I could find gaps in Liquid, I could find gaps in Na'Vi. You're going against Astralis on a map that they have not lost in what feels like forever. They've got a 14-0 streak. It is truly against all odds, and as the stage starts to rise, so does the anticipation, because now it is one single map of Counter-Strike. They've played thousands, but this one means oh so much more. Dynasty to be forged for Astralis and ENCE to complete the Cinderella story. The odds stacked against them. It's over to Henry G and Sadakis to shout about their favorite video game.
Absolutely, I love Portal 2. Just kidding, Alex. This is going to be incredible. ENCE have it all to do. Pulling back, as you say, on a map that Astralis are 14-0. Push down, X7's already got Glaive. He started off kills in all three of the pistols. He has gotten the opener, but Device is so far down Banana already, and he and Dupree, they pulled it back.
Aggressive start there from ENCE, and they get the opening pick. It was looking very good, but Device towards Log shuts it all down. It's now just Aerial, and the Astralis players are very, very aware of that. The bomb's still down in T-spawns, are pushed towards the step, and there it is, the first pistol on the board for Astralis. They lost both of them on train, but this is a fantastic start. Device with 2, Dupree from 3, and they didn't have to deploy strategy there, really. Just a default, waiting for that aggression. Nice idea from ENCE, get the first kill, but Device in Logs manages to find all the kills required. Now, ENCE have the option to force buy in the second round. It's very common on the CT side of Inferno. Get the CZ's armor, smokes out, treated like a gun round, but they're going to take the full eco instead. Nothing really purchased here at all as we head into round number 2. No nades, no armor, just default pistols, and I'll have a 5-man A-stack towards the apartments.
Just watching to make sure no one jumped through boilers. They push down, you're absolutely right, but problem being, and they're discovering this the further they go with each passing step. There's no one there. Yeah, back over toward B instead.
Looks like it's clear, and indeed it is. ENCE will be conceding this round for sure at this stage, as Zipx finds a couple towards the bottom. Device will back him up with the AK-47. They don't have to force the issue on these frags, but Dupree can actually farm some cash to the MAC-10. You want to send those SMGs in first, as he does a lot of damage here. Great stuff. Will there be one kill found? Absolutely not. It's the SMGs doing most of the heavy lifting here, but ENCE can buy up now. They'll have M4s for masses, maybe some orcs, we'll see. Georp is available to X7, but I don't think he's purchasing it.
Still waiting to find out. No, he's gone away from it, so he's gone to do with the AUG. No bomb plants required thus far. For Astralis, they just win it on kills. There's aggression. Down Banana that time.
Now, if we look at this, there's no incendiaries at all. Apart from Alexi V's got 1. How do they get real control here? Well, if you send 4 players towards B with the Aerial, as Glaive pushes closer and closer to the mouth of the bomb site here. Flash over, they're going to try and reclaim territory. It's looking pretty good so far, but a kill in return. CT still fighting back, and it's a 3 versus 2. Sergey alone on the bomb site. They might not anticipate him, though. He gets the first frag. Smoke is good. This could be enough.
But now he stands trial for all of his sins because they know he's there and alone. They're going to sneak through it as well. Already around behind. Holding off on the tree. He knows Dupree that smoke's going to be gone, so he swings back over and gets inside of the ruins instead. Aerial has not seen anyone.
Yeah, he was aware of the possibility of a player going towards spawn, but there's so many angles to check. Sergey will do what he can here. It all comes down to the timings. dupreeh, remember the Mac 10, he actually does not have the advantage at this point.
And Xyp9x isn't immediately inside of the site, so this isn't a perfect trade. You have to take many steps to get there, but the fact of the matter is he's wasted so much ammo that Xyp9x has the chance because Sergey can't continue it on. And it's Aerial yet again. Smoke down, he won't be able to push through yet. dupreeh's low. If he somehow can swing to find him and not be spotted in turn, he looked the wrong way. Aerial drops, dupreeh covers it.
An interesting approach there from ENCE. They knew they had a lack of utility, so they tried to counter that fact with numbers towards the banana area. 4 to be exact, with the rifles, the SMG trying to battle back, but you can see 5 players from Astralis there ready to fight back, and it's dupreeh once again. Now play with a flashbang off his teammate. Xyp9x throws a flash, he sneaks through spawn, and dupreeh, like we mentioned, did not have the advantage in the initial duel towards first oranges, but he gets back up from Xyp9x there. They win the round, and it's 3-0. dupreeh is 8-0, by the way. He hasn't even died yet as we enter round number 4. It's ENCE with Deagle, CZs. And they've got a mountain to climb now. This is looking like a 4-0 start on the T side for Astralis.
And think about the heavy heart dupreeh plays with as well. His father passed just before the start of this major. And he's been here, he's been absolutely focused. No doubt the first emotion for him after this game, win or lose, will be with that of his father. katowice takes down X7. Carmack spoke about it, the amount of sacrifice these players have had to be here. dupreeh will finally drop. Gun available as well. Smoke off. Still at B, katowice.
He's already got a kill for the smoke. Almost found a second there. He might be able to get it at this point. Lexi B is very low indeed. Flashbangs in. It looks like all 4 players will commit. There's nothing that Lexi can really do here. He might be able to get 1 Deagle kill. He's got 10 HP. He'll have to be absolutely perfect here. There's the shot he needed, but the round should still be going in favor of Astralis. But the CTs have an M4. No bomb planted just yet.
Alu swings it back in again. Sergey and Aerial get position. They know that katowice is deep. He's already found the first. This is when Alu can walk in, though they're not looking his direction. Gets one, falls off, but he knows they're still on either side, and Xyp9x takes matters into his own hands.
Just before it gets a little bit uncomfortable, Xyp9x takes care of it. 4 in a row, a decent round there from ENCE, but no victory. But this is where the game really begins on the second map. Alu, considered one of the best AWPers on the CT side of Inferno. His arch play is spectacular. Always delivers, but he's going to have to do more than ever in this particular round. katowice, so perfect. Gets the kill for the smoke initially to open things up. Keeps trading with his teammates, and it's round number 5, 4-0 for Astralis on the T side of Inferno. All for Alu. And a very default setup here, but Alu is going to be looking down towards the underpass and T-steps area.
Alu just waiting. We know how good he is on Inferno. He can take matters very seriously with that op. How many times have we seen him push down to Walt mid?
He loves that play.
Now hold this time very passively, waiting to watch inside a boiler, but they're sneaking behind. This setup's not really designed to cover off for a fast play out of the apartments. Aerial, he's got to be perfect blinded off. Didn't even see them get in. They got behind him. Sergey found only 1, but Aerial steps back up. Unfortunately, the strike of a match, he's utterly turned to ash by Npgcommunity. He burns down inside a pit, opens up a lot because they're out. Bomb is behind the hole, though. Npgcommunity has to cross back over. Fortunately, there's a smoke down in front of Library that will allow him to do so.
3 versus 3, but a massive advantage here for Astralis. The retake begins, the orb's up, but another smoke is down. How do they break through the force field of the smoke towards the arch side? Now focus towards quad, but maybe if he gets one of these kills, the round can be done. Looking for both of them, he absolutely nails it. Does he finish things off with a hat trick? We'll see. Alu with no choice but to fall back and hold on to the AWP. That's going to be 5-0 for sure now. Lovely approach of Astralis. They've got so much money, so much momentum behind them. They get the apartment's control, 1 smoke out, a flashbang to follow, and they make things so difficult to contain. It's that Molotov towards a pit that removed Aerial from the equation. He got 1 kill, but Alu might be done for here. Hits the shot towards Glaive. I don't think he survives this.
Just for a second follow-up, but he should. Now they get around, they're trying to spam it. He might be saved by the time he is. So the AWP, all they have to work with on the inside. Force around it?
They could with maximum loss bonus.
It's a close force, though. It's just under the threshold of comfort. They're going to. It's going to be UMPs.
Well, Ariel hasn't got armor yet. He does buy the UMP.
Might be solo. Oh.
Just the partial buy around it. Still possible, though. We know the potential of Alu on this map. We just have to see it.
They're just waiting again. Same position as last time, so didn't want to get aggressive with the op. Thought there was a chance he might. Might be too early in the game to start throwing caution to the wind.
Wow, look at this
so
stack.
cavalier. Yeah, this is very clever. Done. Game over. But did they know there's one behind? Sergey, he doesn't strike fast enough. The door open, they likely would have turned around too quickly.
Yeah, they're there anyway. They're watching it. It's a nice opening pick, but Sergey can still cause damage here. Close range CZ. Doesn't land anything at all. It's Zipex with both of the opening kills. The 5 versus 3, but Alu's still alive. A small chance they can win this still.
He's got to be in the right place at the right time as much as accurate with the AWP, because they now identify he's still on A. Glave's going to rotate the bomb back around toward T-stairs, and the fact that they have Device and Magisk inside of the B site pretty much confirms matters done. And this time, you got 51 seconds, the bomb's nowhere near being planted. There's no way Alu survives. This time they're going to punish him, surely.
Well, they've got him surrounded. They're not even planting right now. They want to take him. He misses the shot, the all-important one. And that's the orb remove, but he still has cash. He has $6,200, but 6-0 on the T side of Inferno. This is the Astralis pick. Not many teams can touch them on this map whatsoever. And it's going to be a counter-terrorist timeout. That's ENCE working out their options here. Ali purchases the AWP. Do they want the secondary orb once again? We saw X7 rolling that weapon on train to great effect. They need to start posting rounds now. 6 is actually enough on the T side to consider it an okay half, or even a pretty decent half, sometimes depending on the matchup. So they need to start posting a lot of rounds together. Astralis have so much cash, and the pressure's starting to get to ENCE now. Getting ran over here in the first half of the second map.
We've yet to see them really be run over. Again, they're somehow capable of pulling themselves back into these situations. They were 7-0 down against Big in an elimination match, 0-2 in the group stage.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Again, every time we say that, we have to remind you, though, that Astralis on a stage is something unworldly, something we've never seen in Counter-Strike before. They are just so good.
It's very true. Ali spots the leg of one, still can't connect the shots just yet. Dupree baits out the smoke. Does he want to push it? Not quite. He'll fall back and accept the fact that had some sort of a victory with that smoke baited out. Banana control for the CTs, but still very early on in the round, and LXCB with no grenades now.
He's actually going to fall off. Probably the better call. He can certainly hear them working their way back in. He'll even consider Banana at this point in time because it's planted for him. He can swing out. Zipex, he stays directly on top at the emo position. It's a perfect way to swing. He can drop down, cover off anyone to his left. And Howler's the only one there so far. Again, the AWP up close as it is. Utility thrown in, flash dodge. Zipex goes for it. Exactly the play that was called out. Dupree back in. He finds both, and it's 7-0.
It doesn't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. That is Counter-Strike perfection. My God. 3 versus 2. No utility available on the T side, but the positioning, the reactions to the smokes coming in. It's Zipex playing off his teammate. And look at that play. Preemptive fire towards the coffins is absolutely beautiful. How they pull that round off, I'm not sure, but ENCE are really feeling it now. They have to go into round number 8 with nothing more than Deagles and CZs. They've got 4 HEs, however. They can get an opening kill from this, but they won't be able to recover rifles. Nades go in, not much damage found. There it is towards Glaive. But he'll continue to force the issue towards B. Down he goes, maybe a little bit too aggressive there with low HP.
Can't get the rifle though, it's just too far out of reach. Device makes sure of it by putting a Molotov back in the corner to ensure that they've gone back over to the site. Double boost. Might have to be. So they'll keep 2 above the smokes. Mass chaos will ensue if they don't look that direction, because 2 pistols, one of them a Deagle, can do massive damage if Astralis walks by that. And they'll smoke it again. Device with the Krieg wants to try and open up toward coffins. Jisk is still there as well, and I think he's setting to clear out New Box.
Still the advantage of Astralis, even with that pick. 4 players on the CT side focusing the B bomb side, but the bomb for now is in second middle. It's just Aerial who's currently holding in the pits. He'll have his work cut out for him. Device showing a little bit of presence towards B. CT still there.
Third smoke deployed towards CT. Not a lot of utility left over on the Astralis side. Device is close enough that he might actually be able to sneak under it, even with the boost. X7, he won't see him. Does, but it's too late. Doesn't want to fire at that point. He gives the information to Alexi instead. They try and walk the boost out. That makes it easier for Device to actually line up the shots, but Sergey, he gets underneath of it. Meanwhile, it's back over toward A. Aerial has to do every bit of work. He's got an AK to work with that they've given to him, but that's taken immediately back.
Bomb's going to go down, and it begins again at 3 versus 2. No kits available for the CTs, as Magisk and Zipex both get in the apartments. A great positioning once again.
Still the advantage, but Alu has an AK, 100 HP. You'd argue with the armor as well that he's their best shot at this.
No kits, no smokes. How do they win this?
1 kill easy. Alu's go on. But just sneaks back around. He's coy. And Sergey, not much to do at this point in time. Has to take the blood from Magisk's head, but it won't be much more than that. Bomb's gonna detonate 8-0, and Zipex even wants to chase him down. He was low HP. Easily done. Zipex just barely stays alive. Astralis stay unbeaten so far in Inferno.
Close rounds do nothing for ENCE at this point. Zipex, after winning that one, has $16,000. That's the absolute maximum you can have in Counter-Strike. If it was a close game, I would say that's significant, the fact they did so much damage, but at 8-0 down, it doesn't help them at all. ENCE will try and counter this with a double AWP setup. Alexi B and Alu with the sniper rifles here. But once again, it's just so perfect from Astralis. There's not really much you can do against this. They get that bomb down with 5 seconds to spare. They both get in the apartments. It's absolutely ruined ENCE. Alu back on the AWP, this time not as aggressive. Need to start winning some rounds here. 8-0 down. Astralis have already won the half. There's the shot. Alexi B is going to be dropped here. He gets away just about. An opening pick once more for X7.
What? Hello! Glaive, oh man, he absolutely nails it. They both got weakened up. He tosses in an 8.
Wow. You don't see many double kills of the HE map. That's insane.
We had talked about how Astralis reinvented this game using utility. This map especially. HEs were not really relevant, not prevalent until the last 6 months, and they are the reason why. Aerial again, 1-on-4, 9-0. There's no way he can pull this back. And there's no use rowing from the consecrated whale at this point. He will at least get one back, but it's inevitable. They're going to run him over at this rate. Bomb's already planted and Glaive's hunting.
They're going to have to eco again, or at least a partial buy next round. If they save the AUG, they might be tempted to force into it, but why wouldn't you hunt him? You've got so much money here on the T side, and it's Glaive sniffing him out. Aerial, just a couple of bullets in this AK will take him down, as it looks like Glaive has found him once again. Another clean sweep. They've barely died on the Astralis side. Dupree, 11-3. Zipex, 11-2. Alu, 1-8. Similar scenes to what we saw yesterday when he dropped off.
And he's had the op twice. It's not like it's been all economy against him. 5 kills tops for both Sergey and Alexi. Nice puts on a clinic as always.
The double kill at first Oranges. It looked like they'd done enough. They got the opening pick, but then it swings in the blink of an eye. And like I said, ENCE now, they get $3,400 every round they lose at this point. Problem is, you need about 4,500 per player to have a decent buy on the CT side. They're going to have to go CZ's and Armor again, but they are good in these sort of situations. Not over just yet. It's a very scary scoreline, but they've come back from worse. We'll see if CZ's Armor can find them that round to get them on their feet, get some money rolling. PT50 CZ's, HE's, still a chance, but if it goes 10-0, that chance really is running quite thin.
He just gets spotted out. Wow, finally they go aggressive. Sergey's got it down. Device has to turn his attention, but he knows that means there's going to be a bait towards top of Banana. He won't get caught by it.
Beautiful.
Unbelievable. He's so well orchestrated in every situation. You can't fool Device. Even when you think you've got the upper hand and you've got him outnumbered, Glave's going to close off X7. Even the aggression won't work. And at this point, it's not even round by round. It's pain by pain. Then ENCE slowly have to let this game slip away. They've got to do something to get back in. Finally, an AWP back out in their hands.
You're right there. The AWP's come out to go for the double AWP setup again. Alexi B considering it, hasn't purchased it, but Device just looks like he's on another level right now. Nothing can be done. 10-0 on the T side of Inferno. They're already a map up. This will do it. Secure their third major championship. An unexpected matchup here. ENCE will go down swinging, but need to start posting around. Need at least 3 or 4 to even start the conversation of the comeback.
Flash goes out, but already forward at that position is X7. That catches off Magisk. He's not done there either. He goes back around. Finally, they get something rolling. Alu. He takes out Dupree. Glave's going to be locked in, and he'll shut him down. All on to Xyp9x, this time in a 1-on-4. Can he keep the shutout alive?
So this is going to be the loss bonus now removed map. Every kill Xyp9x can find in this situation is going to have a massive knock-on effect. He might still be able to win this, you know. With a minute there, the flashbang goes through. It's actually looking very good. Sergey will take him, though, but things get out of hand. Loss bonus removed. The next round is must win. No question about it. ENCE have to take this one. A 10-5 scoreline, it's still possible to recover. They'll have the AWP, a couple of rifles as well. This has to be a victory. Nothing else will do. Great aggression there. Not timid at all. Lovely work from Sergey to close out the round cleanly as we head into round number 12. Spending almost everything they've got.
So a few smiles on their side so far.
I got to enjoy this journey, right? Still once in a lifetime sort of situation.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of. This run has been so good from them. This one is as well as they run down middle. It's going to be Alu holding off the corner. We know he's good at it, but he's flashed away. He's got a scurry. Alexi wants to reclaim the other side of the map. Device again through smoke. These guys are so good at lining up and anticipating as Alexi can't even find him. He steps away, and he nearly gets it again, even spraying with the pistol. Just foolish. Xyp9x will flash himself back in aerial alone in the site. Does find one. They don't even consider the fact that he could still be in the corner because they had to pit for so long, but his patience did catch them slightly off. Unfortunately, he'll burn. He'll burn it with the nade in response to Alexi. He's in the open. They're so good with utility on the Astralis side.
It's pretty unbelievable, I have to say. Wow. Just an Magis has got 213 utility damage so far. Glaive with 119 and Device at 43. They're doing absolute work with the utility, that's for sure. And that's the round they couldn't afford to lose. They will not have the loss bonus behind them now. They'll have to buy up with everything they can. CZs, Deagles, Scouts, and Org. If they can't win this round, it's likely to be a 14-1/2. No damage done there, right through the wickets as Molotov will hold the CTs at bay. The grenades will do work once again. Alu goes down. Alexi B, he'll be dropped, and this is all falling apart once again. Xyp9x patient for the push. They just know exactly what's going to happen in every round of CS. He is baited out, but he can't get the double. It's left in a 4 versus 1. That is the nightmare scenario now.
He's gone. Even flashing himself out. Dupree's already on the case. You're right. They're one step ahead in every single situation. 12-run reset. Not much left for ENCE now.
Sonic doesn't have to do much at this point. They're in cruise control, and it has to be an eco. They got $2,000. They'll have to eco for the last round. That's why I was saying the 14-1 scoreline was looking very likely.
Not so easy today.
Full eco.
And a full rush. Just throwing caution to the wind at this point. They've just got to try and catch them off somehow. Surely with Device again. He's ready for it. He certainly is. Device nearly getting the ace. I thought he would get the fifth. Glaive beats him to it. Same result, though. It's another round for Astralis, and it's one step closer to tying the record for all-time major victories. They want their third. They want second back-to-back. Fnatic won their third and their final on this stage, keep in mind.
That's a very good point. Last round, what a half it's been. Astralis displaying pure dominance here. Why they're considered the world's best. So consistent. This is no flash in the pan. They've been at the very top for a long time now. Doesn't look like they'll be challenged today. Looking for the clean sweep in the final, the 2-0. 14-1 in the T sides. Pretty unheard of, but if there's ever a team that could do it, these group of young Danes would certainly be in that conversation. No kits, barely any utility, no orb for Alu. I was hoping to see more from the AWP. I don't think we've seen a frag from it so far. Sergey with the M4. They've lost map control here. The aggression hasn't worked. The default setups has yielded no fruit. Bomb still down in T-spawn. Alexi do have a chance here, but can't connect the bullets.
Just tapping. Rice knows exactly where they're inclined to play. Not even about baiting out utility because there just isn't any. No kits either, keep in mind. Smokes toward coffins now. As the Danes mount their attack. Firing through smokes even. Incendiaries to clear, oranges 1 and 2, X7. He walks heavy on delicate ground, tries to play inside the smoke, it doesn't work. Glaive, he's able to run him over, follows that up. Once again, the site is open. Dupree will go for the plants.
4 versus 3. Zipex in a prime position for another kill as well. Absolutely nails it. It's looking likely to be 14-1 here. Device has had such a tremendous half. It doesn't get much better than this. He currently sits on 18 kills and 5 deaths, and Dupree, that is a bickering over the frags now. Who will get them? Absolute dominance there. Counter-strike perfection. This is why they're the best. ENCE, it looks like this could be the end. They've had an amazing journey here, but Astralis just too powerful. There will be a chance in the second half if they can pick up the pistol, but whether they can go further than that is yet to be seen. You'll have to find out after this break.
touched eternal things on the hearts of humankind. No one can ever take this run away from them, but Astralis, they never let it in their minds. It's not even come into a shadow of doubt in this game. It's 14-1, and we've got maybe just 2 rounds away from them in a 3rd major championship.
Absolutely right. ENCE will do everything they can in this pistol, of course. They've got 5 sets of Kevlar, and they're going for the rush towards middle. It's Dupree that takes a bullet to the face, but he will survive as they continue to push towards the arch side. Dupree to play it this low. What is that shot? Unbelievably good, as Glaive will try and back them up. It's the advantage for Astralis, but can they hold on to it?
They're forward to the smoke, but they've lost the bomb. Glaive's great shot takes down Alexi, and they've got to turn back forward. He's well aware of the fact, and Xipix has already rotated in, so Aerial, he's fighting in very difficult circumstances. Fortunately, they cleared out Pit, and they have the backside of the site. On top of that, they've got the advantage. A comeback. They have to play it. They have to put everything into it. They've got to give themselves every chance and believe in every possibility. They'll corner off Xipix, but Device has gone around. He's got 1 down already. He's isolated Sergey, but the reload could cost him. Sergey holds on, and ENCE get their 2nd.
Smiles on their face. They should enjoy every moment of this. 4 of these players in their 1st major and the grand final against the world's best. They've won the pistol. They'll bring out the AKs, but as I mentioned in the 1st half, on Inferno, the CT side, 2nd round force fight is very viable. 5-7 CZs, a plethora of smokes and flashbangs as well. Astralis will try and end this early.
You've got lots of time to recover from that if it doesn't work out. Bomb down for the fact that they were holding it on the front man. They didn't want Alexi to run in around the corner and give up something quite so easily, but Dupree even still finds the 1st kill.
They've rushed middle again, by the way. They rushed middle on pistol. They've rushed middle in the 2nd round, but it's a 5 versus 3. Damage down to Alexi B. It looks like it's falling apart, but they start to save the day. Goes to the 2-on-2 now.
Good swing from Aerial down to just Xipix, but the 1-on-1. We know how good he is, but he has to reload, and there's not enough time for him to reset into his tactics. It's when he gets time to set up, that's when you know you're in trouble, but if you can bounce, you won't give that chance away. Unfortunately, they do lose all but 1, but they stay alive.
Well, it's a full eco now for Astralis. Do ENCE this rush middle again? That one works out. It was a 5 versus 3 that's recovered. I love the fact they smile on their faces. Nothing to be ashamed of here. 1 HE, 1 Deagle. That's all Astralis will bring into round number 18. And they are sending heavy numbers towards middle again. It is Dupree waiting with the Deagle, but down he goes. He did get a headshot through the wall and take Alexi B down to 1 HP. That's incredibly unlucky. Rush middle again, it works 3 out of 3 times.
No fault there. If it ain't broken, I mean, what are the odds that they're going to do it a 3rd time as well, right? You can't really blame Astralis for assuming to stack the B site. Eventually, something's got to change. Double bluff. Either way, Alu's going to wait. See if he can build out the cash. See if he can get rolling on this T side. Maybe get the AWP out. Aegis will get yet more utility kills for Astralis. Just still getting the back, tries to use the attack cannon range. He's taking so too is Sergey. 4 players still up. I want to make sure Sergey he stays that way because they can't afford to lose any more of the AKs. Does bomb detonate? No, I think time's going to reset just barely. They almost lost 2 guns to the bomb at the end of that.
Well, this is where things might start to come to a close. Astralis with the AWP. The Orgs are out. No kids, however. I don't think ENCE will rush middle again. Now they've got 3 rounds in a row. Might be worth thinking about getting back to the defaults and seeing what can be done here. Take it round by round. That's what they've done before. I mean, they recovered 15-8 against Liquid. This is a much taller order, but we'll see what can be done. Towards Banana they go. Mac 10 damage done, but Glaive with the M4. He'll get 2 and doesn't even want to fall back yet.
It looked like he was going to get taken down on that because Xipix was caught with a nade out. Glaive was never spotted. Momentum shifts yet again. They've gone low. Both those players on B are low, but Device is rotating over as a result. He'll bring the op. And Alu's overextended. He's not aware that Device has come right back over on his side of the map. boldly gets taken down. Ariel's the last alive. It looks like championship and major point of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice events going the way of Astralis. All they have to do is find one remaining player. Dupree does that.
One more round will do it. It'll be a third major trophy heading towards the cabinet of Astralis. That's such a dominant round as well. Glaive, he's not messing around. 2 kills of the M4, falls back, funnels him towards A. Bomb nowhere near planted. It's ENCE who have enough to buy into this round, but they'll get 4 AKs, 1 Deagle. Expensive rounds previous. And is this where it all ends? One more round will do it.
And if you doubted for a second that they weren't the greatest of all time before, what argument have you now? History is being written with every single event they attend. This is unexplored. No one's done what they have. Intel Extreme Masters, the Grand Slam last year, back-to-back majors. Surely 2019 can't possibly be as good as 2018, but there's no signs of them slowing down. Not for Dupree either. He'll get 2. They walk in the smoke. Glaive, he'll only punish 1, but it's just Ariel to 5, and it's done! They had 1 goal. That's it. That's all they wanted. Back-to-back. And they've got it now. And the last to join the circle is Dupree. How much he had to give to be here. How much he had to give up. The loss of his father, no doubt he'll be smiling down on him now because he has broken all the records along with his team.
Absolutely stunning stuff there from Astralis. Perfection on Counter-Strike. Inferno is their map. They define how it is played. No one can stop them. Just unbelievably good. Time and time again.
And credit to ENCE, who did the unthinkable to take down world number 2. World number 3. Comebacks in all fashions. But you can't mess with greatness. You can't mess with history. And these guys are writing it in every event. Intel Extreme Masters, champions, majors, back-to-back. Astralis again in Katowice.
Astralis, they join an elite club, back-to-back majors, 3 in the cabinet. They don't lose a single map on the Spodek stage. Untouchable, undisputed. Astralis, your kings of Counter-Strike. Katowice, they've bared witness to the coronation. We here at the desk do too. Gentlemen, this is a run. This is a team everybody is setting their sights on. You stay on top long enough, you find the heroes becoming the villain, and my goodness, all have Astralis in their crosshair.
Look, the Astralis brand is winning. It's as simple as that. These guys have done it time and time again. They're proving yet again that they stay the best team in the world, that nobody can touch. The gap that they have set, the precedent that Astralis have put down for the rest of the Counter-Strike scene is immense, and I don't know if anybody can climb it.
No, they're the best team in Counter-Strike history, in my opinion. This is the most competitive era of Counter-Strike we've ever had. Dozens of teams paid to be pro full-time, analysts, coaches, sports psychologists. It doesn't matter. None of these teams can match Astralis. 12-0 in the playoffs in the last 2 majors.
Alex, every other team in the world goes to bed at night, and this is what they see. Astralis are their nightmare. Well, I'm scared.
It was Muhammad Ali who said, if you even dream of beating me, you better wake up and apologize. And I don't think Astralis are far from it. People are going to start having those dreams, and my goodness, I don't think we're going to see them realize who on earth takes a trophy away from them. Well, OJ, he's going to be talking to the victors now.
Thank you very much, Alex. It's an emotional stage right now. I'm with Dupree, who I can see has got tears in his eyes. Emotionally for you right now, you must be going through absolutely everything.
Yeah, it's very unreal. I came into this tournament with my father. Yeah, he passed away just before I got here, and his last wish was that I went here, and so I really want to dedicate this win to my father.
Mate, come on. It is a fitting stage here, what you have just achieved. Back-to-back champions, you and Astralis. How much did you want to do that? For all the reasons, for the team, for your father, for your family, how much did you want to win this back-to-back major?
I don't know, I mean, this was probably my biggest wish I've ever had, to make my father proud, my family, but also all of our fans and everyone in esports. Man, it's just unreal that we go and do this. This has been a dream and a goal for quite a long time, and now that we're back-to-back champions, it's just unreal. Thank you so much.
How long can you stay at the level you're at? Because you are untouchable.
I mean, the work ethic in Astralis and the way we function as a team, as persons, but also as players, the way our team back home supports us, the way like our physiotherapists and all that stuff helps us, and our nutritionists and everything, it just works well. So I want to give a huge shout out to our health team back home as well, and obviously to Kasper Witt, who is our sports director. So and obviously to all the lovely fans here that's supporting everyone, and the fact that we gave us such a great game was amazing. Thank you.
What's left to achieve?
I mean, we always want to win. That's always the goal. That's what we want to do, and we did it one more time here, and it's just amazing. So we're just going to keep grinding. We're not going to give up.
Listen, I appreciate you taking the time. I think no one begrudge you especially, but Astralis as well. Back-to-back major champions one more time. Everyone in the Spodek. It is dupreeh and Astralis!
Incredible. dupreeh, one of the many players who has set his life goals into the world of Counter-Strike, and you can see it coming into fruition. So much sacrificed in pursuit of glory, and glory they get once again. Astralis, they just look so comfortable under what should be the greatest pressure of their lives, of their careers. For some reason, there isn't an ounce of it. Smiles as they dismantle a team that has taken this world number 2, the world number 3. ENCE pushed all of those teams aside, and yet Astralis, they still look down and laugh.
I don't know who can challenge them anymore. This is just a, look, for some people it's a problem. For others, it's basking in the greatness, the glory of beautiful Counter-Strike, the fact that they can produce this time and time again. Na'Vi and Liquid were the two teams coming into this tournament who could be a threat. They were the two teams who we could take the fight. And ENCE, the underdog, ENCE, the team from nowhere, are the ones who rock up in the grand final. You can't say anything against them. They did what they needed. But Astralis, they just stand tall.
They've come close to breaking and setting records all over the shop, whether it's a map spree on Nuke, Inferno, whether it's trying to get 2 16-0s. Yes, that's a record that they're aiming for at this point in time. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they're on pace to bring Inferno up to their Nuke streak at this point, and I mean, there's just no weaknesses when you look at these guys. They've put so much work into this game. They've defined this meta of Counter-Strike. They've shaped how every team approaches this game due to their hard work and just finding different ways to play.
ENCE, of course, moment to talk about our runners-up in this grand final here on Championship Sunday. They get their medal, and my goodness, that medal better be pride of placement, because of what they have achieved is not going to lose value by being unable to topple the infallible.
The expectations that they've exceeded to get to this point, the Counter-Strike that they've played, ENCE have to be proud of their effort. You know, they're going to be disappointed in the moment, but they know that they've just brought Finnish Counter-Strike back towards the top, somewhere it hasn't been for years.
Big Clan, G2, Avangar, Liquid, Na'Vi, and they dropped 2 maps in all of those series. ENCE, their run not to be snubbed in any way, in any stretch of the imagination, and of course they'll all get their personal medals as well. Something to take home. You can't all share the trophy. Can't chop that one up. The IEM trophy, absolutely a prestigious award for what was an incredible performance from Astralis.
Look, Astralis, only had 4 games go to double digits. They only lost 1 map, and that was to Renegades and Mirage in overtime. Nobody was close. Nobody was even, you know, sniffing them out.
It's actually incredible. It's incredible, the fact that they've done it 2 majors in a row, only dropping 1 map along the way. I mean, like you said, no one ever looked like they were going to contest Astralis in this playoff bracket. And you can't take anything away from ENCE's run. They beat some incredible teams, like you said, Alex, to get here.
Yeah, but this was a different kettle of fish. This is a different beast. The Great Danes, the triple-headed Danes, the Cerberus to the gates of Counter-Strike championships. It's just, you can't touch them. You can't access that level of success when Astralis still exists in this game. Dominance, and it keeps getting better. Their Counter-Strike, it's not like it's falling off. It's not like people are catching up. If anything, the gaps in the games, they're getting easier. Astralis, they start their 2019 with a huge result. 2019, Astralis are your champions, and they will be setting their sights on the rest of the year to do exactly the same. We've got to reflect upon this, not only their run, but of course this major as a whole. And a storyline that I'm sure will be attached to Katowice for a while now. We've had the fair share of teams come through. Fnatic forged somewhat of a dynasty in this very arena. Astralis have done the same. And ENCE, you're definitely going to be on the tip of those tongues. Audience came from around the world. We have had Australian. Personally, I've met people who've traveled from Australia, China, you name it, around the world. Every part of Europe, all gathering in the city of Katowice to celebrate Counter-Strike, to watch what Astralis can do, to see ENCE. And every single one of those ENCE jerseys sold out.
Yeah, I think when we look at this run from ENCE and we talk about, you know, if you haven't heard it, you haven't been listening to any of the desk segments, this has been the best format possible at a major.
Wow.
There's been the format with the best of 3s as the gatekeeper. You're not getting through with any gimmicky wins this time round. And ENCE proved that they're not to be laughed at, they're not to be sneered at. They're a contender, and I hope that they can continue that kind of form as this year progresses, because we do need more names towards the top.
Yeah. We've seen hot favorites dismantled, even before the Legend stage. Names like Fnatic, NRG, who went completely seamlessly through the minor and yet couldn't get to the top 8. I mean, this conversation is intriguing. Renegades finding form. And what's more exciting, MIBR. There are teams now who have just formed in their fledgling stages, Sean, that could start setting their sights on.
I mean, the craziest thing is when you look at the depth of the scene, a team like Mousesports couldn't even make it to the challenger stage of this major. Like, that shows how deep the scene is, that 5 all-star players can't even make it to the top 24 teams.
Yeah.
There's so many teams that can play this game well. If Astralis wasn't in this scene, without a doubt, people would think this is the most competitive area of Counter-Strike. Just because Astralis is so good, people think that it's not.
Look at the semifinals. We had 2 teams, Na'Vi and MIBR, who put on some incredible shows. We got to see just a little glimmer. Na'Vi, for one thing, proved the whispers wrong. Don't forget, 3 weeks ago, Chad and Sean, we shared this desk and we were like, okay, so we're believing Zeus. This is the last major for Na'Vi. They came out and put on a show, as did Simple. There is definitely recipe for some competition for Astralis coming into 2019.
There's fight, right? And these players and teams are going to continue to get humbled by Astralis until eventually either the right roster clicks, the people get on the right page, they change the way they practice. Look, there's only so many hours in a day, and we've heard this time and time again from Astralis. They don't practice any more than anybody else. They're just more efficient with their time. And whatever that formula is, whatever that recipe is, I hope Zonic holds that close to his chest forever, because I love seeing a run of a team being this dominant, because I get to live and witness firsthand the greatest Counter-Strike team ever.
A game and its core that has existed for nearly 20 years has been refined. It took that long to see Counter-Strike at this level. Appreciate that for what it is. Yes, sure, ENCE, who did put on a fantastic show, could not topple or even make a dent, certainly in the second map. But Train, I mean, we saw glimmers. We know that this is going to be another team to watch out for on Astralis' road to glory.
Yeah, I mean, ENCE has proven they have a very deep map pool. They can take Astralis to the limits on Train. Sure, they require both pistols and a little bit of luck here and there,
you know, Zip Nicks.
But they've shown that they can compete with the top teams in the world. We originally thought of them as a top 15 team. I think we have to consider them a top 5 team in the world after this major run.
We might have to change our tiers of teams. You know, we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
Yeah.
Is Astralis? and then everybody else.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That makes more sense. It really is just one man or one team versus the rest, and we're going to be continuing to see this unfold, of course, as the year does. But when we do kind of look back and you look at how Astralis' dominance started, it was touch and go. You know, leadership changes. They bring in a leader that has proven his worth. Glaive joins this roster, and then they go to new heights. They found Magis crying in the lobby in his North jersey, removed from a team. He now joins what is set to be the most historically dominant team in Counter-Strike history. This is a story in itself, and I'm not bored of it yet.
Look, yeah, me either. I think that a lot of people, you know, think it's boring because the grand final is over and done with. It's a quick, it's a, you know, a flash in the pan. But the thing is, if a team can do this consistently, Alex, someone has to stand up and stop them.
Yeah.
They're not going to let anybody win.
Maybe one man who's going to be interested in playing a part in that stopping during this year is Alexi B. What a story it's been for him. He was one of my favorites on the stage, confidence from every pore, and now Alexi B is standing by to reflect upon his major run.
Alexi, from the European qualifiers back in December and 38 maps later, you are the second place in the majors. You must be feeling pretty good about that achievement.
Yeah, of course it sucks after the loss, since we could have won it all, you mean. But it has been an exhausting journey this far, and we're very proud that we are at least second.
And what happened on that stage today?
We had our moments on train. A few tough rounds we could have won, which that the map could have been closer, or we could have edged it. But they took it from the T side over, and then we played Inferno, and of course they just showed that they are the #1 team in the world.
Well, let's talk about you, Alexa. Just 21 years old and clearly one of the most promising IGLs in the game. How has this experience changed you?
Of course, this experience boosted my motivation a lot, and like trusting myself, trusting my calls, trusting my team, because we can do it against the #2 and #3 teams in the world, so feels good.
And you have captured the hearts and minds of thousands of fans around the globe. Is there anything you would like to say to them one last time?
I want to thank everyone who cheered for us here. It was an amazing experiment.
And it's been an amazing experience getting to know you, Alexiv, so congratulations, and let's head back to the desk.
Yes, indeed, an incredible journey, and you can see that Alexi B, we've been talking about his absence of emotions, even he is not impervious to a grand final in Counter-Strike at this very moment. We do have an opportunity now to take a look at some of the Counter-Strike we witnessed, so why don't we go ahead, kick back, relax, and check out the Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel Power Play.
The Mountain Dew AMP Game Fuel Power Plays.
Now, we have seen Astralis are the best team in the world. Now, I'm going to showcase a little bit of why it is Astralis is so good. The score is currently 6-0 in favor of Astralis. We're on Inferno. This is about to be the last chance for ENCE to do anything or get inside this game. If we play out the clip, we can see that ENCE is actually doing a good effort into this round. X7 is getting a double kill here towards Banana, and all of a sudden, this is a 4 versus 2 situation. Astralis are only 2 man down, or 2 man left, which should mean that this should be an ENCE round. But that's the thing with Astralis. Even though there are only 2 guys left, even though they're playing from behind, this is the best team in the world for a reason. Now, we get to see Siblings get the first kill right here, and we have currently a 3 versus 2 situation. So even though ENCE is doing everything they can in their power to win this round, it still gets down to the wire. It still gets down to a clutch situation. So what's going to happen in a second is that you can see Siblings is taking a little bit of an unorthodox position. He's making a play, and this is where I want to focus. These individual players from Astralis are so good and so skilled. Now, what's going to happen in a second is you can see a flash coming in from Alu that is going to go in here. Now, the instant reaction from Siblings is to drop down from here, hide behind the wall, or use the wall as a cover, and then fight Alu straight away to get that initial duel and get the advantage going into it. So that's what's going to transpire now. You can see the flash come in flying in a second. Siblings drops down using the wall as a cover, gets the frag, and then Dupree follows it up with a double kill. This is why you can't beat Astralis when they're on this level. Individually, they're just so much better than everyone else.
And that's just individually. That's one facet of the game. Thank you so much, Jacob. That was your Game Fuel Power Play. My God, that's just in displaying not only, of course, the incredible minds that are at play, but also the individual skill that backs it up. These guys are hitting shots so consistently.
Yeah.
even if you think you've got them anti-stratted, Sean, I'm sure, you know, you got them anti-stratted. You'd solve that riddle. You'd have to still beat them as 5 players in the server.
Yeah, that's what makes them so unbeatable, is their individual skill is probably the highest in the scene, as well as their tactics. This would be their 11th tournament they've won since that desk that we sat at in DreamHack Marseille last April. 11 tournaments in less than a year. These guys hardly go to more than 1 tournament a month. They're not like the other teams in the scene. They don't like, you know, jam-packing their schedule full of tournaments. They've won pretty much all of them. There's only a couple that they haven't.
Well, with the Intel Grand Slam in their belt and just starting Season 2 of the Intel Grand Slam with a win at the Major, there's a lot of million-dollar conversations happening right now, and I think that format might be working for them.
Well, I think, you know, liking winning and liking money, it goes side by side. So if they can keep that ball rolling in that regard, that'd be fantastic. But some of the things that they do really well, especially on this Inferno game, is that their spacing is always on point. Everybody's awareness, you know, when a duel goes down, when a fight happens, they react. And you could see time and time again the utility that we, you know, elaborated on came into play on their T side. It's the CT side that it's known for, right? So much damage in banana, you know, making sure that they're getting stuck in the choke points. They had that double tactical nuke on the B bomb site where Glaive had both those kills come down over the wall. Everything they did in this Inferno game was perfection.
I mean, that's it. You end your grand final of the Major with what our experts are calling perfection. That's, I mean, you couldn't ask for more from that side of things. Of course, we want to see resistance. We want to see ASTRALIS push to their limits. And the fact of the matter is, no one can do that right now. That's the conclusion we're coming to.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best in the early game as far as spreading out tactics. They're the best in the mid-round, reading rotations. And they're the best in the late round because they have players like Xyp9x.
So can we take stock of where their dominance lies at the moment? Because you know how they're setting record.
Nuke and Inferno 100% locked.
And Inferno, they have won 100% of the time.
Well, here's the problem with that, right? In best of 3s, you can only ban one of those 2.
Well, there's a problem already.
So a lot of these series, most teams are going to be starting 1 map down, right? So before it was you had to ban Nuke. Well, now you have to ban Nuke or Inferno because they're going to pick the other one most likely. So you have to either become really, really good at Inferno, really, really good at Nuke.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, none of us are stupid enough to think that these records last forever, but I don't know where it happens. I mean, then to be fair, their Nuke, it's been so notorious for so long. People aren't even, we don't get to see ASTRALIS play Nuke that often. It's just gone.
No, I think you have to ban it, right?
Yeah, you have to ban it. I've even seen them, you know, lose 2 pistols. I've seen them go down quite big. Nothing stops them from winning on those 2 maps. It's crazy.
It is.
I actually think MIBR as a team, you know, if they can, you know, really progress this year with the roster they have and the map pool, they play Cage. That means ASTRALIS have to ban it.
Yeah.
They don't play Nuke. That's their perma-ban, right? So they're not even messing around with that. The other 6 maps is where they have to refine. If they can get their Inferno up to a passable level where they can push and, you know, make ASTRALIS a little bit squeamish. We saw what they did on Overpass.
Yeah.
They have the recipe to be a very good Dust 2 team. The potential is there, right? But this is still in this team's infancy since they've come back together. Absolutely. So I'm really thinking for the middle of 2019, definitely not anytime soon.
That's the reality. It's time to play catch-up. It's trying, like, is emulation the answer? Do you just go ahead and start copy and pasting ASTRALIS, or do you do it your own way?
We've seen a lot of that so far in the scene, but the thing is they keep evolving. So they're always 1 step ahead of you. They're constantly doing new things at every event, which is what is so amazing about this team is they never get complacent.
What was the story? Sorry to cut you off. What was the story you were telling me about Nothing when he was playing against them at this event, where they were running back and forth in halls? You start second-guessing everything.
Yeah, Jordan was confused because, I mean, he heard Xyp9x stomping around all over the place, and Xyp9x was all by himself. But it sounds like he has more people with him because, you know, you think it's ASTRALIS, they have people backing him up. You give them more credit.
They get away with more than they should, right?
And that's part of why they're so good. Is
like they're clicking their Glocks. I watch Magisk, he lurks Palace, he clicks his clock. Yeah. Like that's enough for you to go, wait, why would he do that? What's that? What does that mean?
They're scary as well.
They're intimidating.
They're just, their presence is scary at this point. I think another problem is with emulating that play style that you were talking about is if you engineer the playstyle, if you're the creator of it, you understand the next step. You understand all the functions of it, right? If you just copy it and you don't actually evolve it or put your own little spin on it, then they know the counter. Yeah, I don't think that fits on the plane. It might need its own seat.
Yeah, I'd check that one into... I'd probably check that one in. No, I wouldn't. No, I'm not. I'd buy a seat. Yeah, for sure. Take it back. But we are going to start reflecting on not only just ASTRALIS and their success, but what a major it has been. Guys, we've spent 3 weeks here talking about our favorite game. What's your biggest takeaway, would you say?
I mean, it has to be ENCE and their run, right? That is an unprecedented run for a team like ENCE to make, knocking out the teams they did, Liquid, then Na'Vi, and putting a fight to ASTRALIS in that first map. I could have never seen something like that happening. I thought our scene clearly had, 3 teams at the top.
Okay.
Liquid, Na'Vi, and Astralis. And so for ENCE to knock those teams out really changed my perception of, I guess, how good they are.
Right.
I think the problem, if you are a Liquid of the world, or if you are a Na'Vi and you've gotten this far, what's the question? Because you lost to ENCE, your sights are set on beating Astralis, right? That's the case. You're just looking towards them to beat them. ENCE coming through, and no, I don't want to say the other teams got lazy, because you can't take a team like ENCE for granted at all.
Yeah.
But obviously there was something here that they didn't expect to happen, and that was the resilience of ENCE, right? Here's a big problem as well. Adren has joined that Liquid roster as the coach. Now, if he had joined and they had beaten Astralis here in the Major Grand Final, he looks like a genius.
Sure.
He's taken on one of the hardest tasks as a coach right now. There's so much pressure on this guy because he's come in, and now that they were unable to progress, they're unable to beat ENCE. Unfortunately, he becomes a villain, right? And I think they have a lot of room to progress. I think Liquid, with those 5 players, we already said best North American roster probably ever assembled. I keep saying probably, I don't know why I do that, ever assembled.
Yeah.
They have so much room for growth. And you heard in that Twist post-game interview where he's saying we didn't play to the game plan. We watched all the demos. There is a chance that we do see some more competitive tournaments as it progresses. It's just everybody else needs to sit back and really reflect on where they want to go as a unit. Get on the same page.
But what I've learned from your speech there is that the other facet that we don't discuss, and it's hard to quantify, is that these second best and third best, they have to invest so many resources into beating Astralis as one entity, that you have the chance to fall to a footfall of a surprising team you haven't been preparing for, because you've been investing so much into beating just one.
And that's the crazy thing is they have to think about which maps they want to play based on
Grand scheme.
Based on Astralis. They don't even get to choose, most of these teams that are forming, these newer teams, they're designing their map pool to beat Astralis, not to be the best they can possibly be.
That's like his permaban is cash.
Well, but that's like Na'Vi's flaw as well, right? Yeah. So Na'Vi aren't in a position where they can float it. We've already seen them try it once before and it didn't work out for them because Astralis will go for that punish. That's the problem. If Keisha's your permaban and it's the same ban as a team like Astralis, and you don't even flirt with the idea of playing it or potentially risk the chance of playing it, then you're giving them a free veto. There's no reason. I don't feel like Astralis needed to ban it in the first phase today. They're the best team, so that's why they thought, well, we'll just get rid of it, get rid of that anomaly. But when you're looking at other matchups, quarterfinals, semifinals, group stage games, then don't need to take the risk on that. That's just one of the maps that is going to, either when you play Na'Vi, just not going to be there regardless because they're going to ban it, or you're just going to ban it. Yeah. And that means you're more comfortable and better already on 2 of those maps that we've 100% guaranteed, Inferno and Nuke. Then you start going down the ladder.
What do you do?
How can you touch them?
Yeah, well, I love that we're having the conversation that many teams have had. Like, this has happened in a team speak about 3 a.m. after a grueling loss, and you sit there and you go, right, guys, so we have to change everything. We have to truly develop our map pool to even guarantee a trophy lift when Astralis are in attendance. And I think that's
they don't go.
I hope they don't go.
Hey, Astralis going this tournament? We might skip it.
But see, I think that there's a real ease for people who are watching this and seeing this to fall into the trap of thinking this is a problem. Counter-Strike is boring. Of course, if you've somehow forgotten about semifinals yesterday, then my goodness, you're a goldfish.
Short memory.
But if you think about the grand scheme, I hope I get to be there when someone has done all of this hard work we've just talked about, and we see Astralis fall, and we see them tested. Maybe not immediately. Maybe, like you said, halfway through 2019. Maybe, we spend the next 6 months talking about 4 different names that we haven't even discussed here, that have started to forge a dynasty to take down the gods.
It has to happen,
of course,
pretty soon, especially on Nuke, because when you watch Astralis play on Nuke now, it's very, very different from when we saw them at the beginning of this streak. They're way more screaming loose. They're abusing all of the things that once worked. And they actually have a very loose playstyle. It's crazy that it's so consistent.
That's another gear that they have, though, right? We know them for discipline. We know them for being well prepared and practiced, and we know them for being in the studio right now. So that's good
right.
news.
Yeah, I think I see a very happy Glaive and Device hanging out on the sofa.
But when they get to just play loose at Counter-Strike and just headshot you, that's just another look of Astralis, right? So how many different levels and gears are this team? Because we've said it once, we've said it again. I'm going to say it right now. They're the undisputed #1 team of all time.
Yeah, and then, okay, so what happens when Billy 08